What's up, everybody? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays for this Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. I am your host, Russ Williams. I'm so glad you could be here today. I'm quite aware, ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere in this world today. I know you could have been anywhere in this world today, but you decided to be here with me, and I appreciate that. And more importantly, I appreciate you. So welcome to Transition Tuesdays, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Mardi Gras to everybody out there. Today is Fat Tuesday, starting today. So happy Mardi Gras to each and everybody out there. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an action-packed show here today. As usual, we got a special guest. I'm going to bring this person on in a sec. But before we do that, I always like to state my intentions for the show. And my intentions is to give you the opportunity to laugh, smile, think, and engage in honest conversations about your life's transition. So that's what we do here. We got our guy Tariq Thacker, Triple T. Triple T joining us today. What up, Triple T? What up, Tariq? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays, my friend. We had Tariq on here telling his story. It was a can't miss. You can check that out on my past podcast. Check that out. I'm glad, Tariq, you're joining us today. And speaking of honest conversation, and before we get into that conversation, we got Uncle Smoothie, Chris B. Williams joining us, the voice of the Jaspers joining us. Oh my God, cool. So, like I said, honest conversations. And we got this special guest. So special guest, are you here?
I am definitely here.
All right, special guest is in the building. Good, okay. So I'm going to bring out this special guest, bring him out to the arena in a major way. So here's the deal. Okay, so bear with me, guys, okay, because this is an extensive bio. So, my special guest is from Hagerstown, Maryland, in the DMV area. He played at Manhattan College from 1996 to 2000. Now, get this, ladies and gentlemen. During his senior year at Manhattan, he led the MAC conference in assists, and he was 16th in the country in assists. Man, his senior year as well. Now, he holds the all-time single-season assist record at Manhattan College. Man, that's blowing. This guy balled out, man. He and his family currently live in Massachusetts, and he works for John Hancock Insurance Company as a senior consultant for long-term care development department. He does that. So this guy has been giving out assists on the court and off the court. So, ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, please help me welcome Mr. Phil Boo Lane to Transition Tuesdays. Hear that applause, Boo?
I hear it. There's a lot of love.
Oh, absolutely, man. What's good, Boo?
Everything's good, man. I see my mentor, Tariq Thacker.
Yes.
Uncle Smoothie is somewhere near.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Oh, good, man. Good. We're excited to have you, man. We definitely are excited to have you, man. My man, Tariq. Yeah, the picture that I posted, of you, and it was ironically, you looking like you throwing out one of those dimes that you did, But in the background, I see your mentor, Tariq Thacker, was in the background of that pic there.
Rick showed me the ropes, man. He showed me a lot.
Uh-huh.
He got me prepared when I truly wasn't prepared, to be honest. I was a true 18-year-old freshman.
Yeah.
I was not prepared, so Rick kind of showed me the ropes.
Yeah, yup. Tariq's that dude, man. Yeah. Shout out to you, Tariq, man. Yeah, he had, we had Tariq on, man. Great interview, man. Gave us some insight, man. My man, Tariq was the man. Still is the man.
Yep.
So, Phil, man, Boo, man. And Boo, I can call you Boo, right?
You could call, yeah. I mean, that's whatever you know me as. You could call me.
All right.
I'll take it off.
Cool. I know you as Boo, so I'm gonna go as Boo. We're gonna venture that. Talk about Boo. So now, Boo. For my guests, I'm not. You're new to the show, what have you. But when my guests come on, I try to play some music for them. So what I'm about to play for you there, man, Boo, is a song from an artist from the DMV area. Okay. So I'm gonna play this for me, play this for you, and you tell me what you think. All right, hold on one second. See if I can cue this up, my DJ skills. See what we got. Hold on one second. All right. You know who that is?
That's that good old Wale kid.
What you know about that Wale, man?
Hey man, he's a little later on, man.
Right.
I'm into I'm still into the Stevie. I'm still into the Stevie in the old school that my pops used to play on the record player. So I'm still into that.
Oh, okay, yeah, and I know you from the DMV area. You know, when I had Travis Lyons on here, you know, I came out, Travis Lyons came out to, what's my man? Oh my God, it's escaping me right now. Chuck Brown. He came out, I played some Chuck Brown for him, you know?
Yeah, where Travis from, Travis from right in DC where go-go music is heavy. You know, kind of where I'm from. I'm from a little bit in the sticks.
Yeah.
Where go-go music was listened to, it was, but you know, it was more of a variety of some other types of music. So
gotcha. So he into the Stevie though, Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, you know, Stevie's the man.
Yes, he still is the one of our living legends, man.
Yes.
Man, we got Keisha joining us from the D. What up, though? What up, Keisha? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Our guy Smooth says, Boo Lane, Lefty Love.
Yeah, that's Smooth's tag. Whenever I see that, I know it's Smooth somewhere in sight.
Absolutely, yes. The voice of the Jaspers, the men and female. Yep, Smooth's doing his deal. Yes, absolutely. Hey, so Boo, man, couple of questions for you, man. So, you know, I'll be remiss. I ask each and every person who comes on Transition Tuesdays, how are you and your family coping with the 3 pandemics we have? You know, we got COVID, you know, you got the economy, and you also got the pandemic of the social injustice, especially for black men here in America. So how are you and your family coping with those pandemics going on right now?
You know, as far as the change in life, to be honest, is really not too much of a change for me. It's actually, you know, I've been working from home for the past 6 years, ever since my son was in kindergarten.
Wow. Okay.
So I've been at home every day, you know, for the past 5 or 6 years. Now, my wife, she was going into the office every now and then, but she's home full time, so that's kind of an adjustment. The biggest adjustment is the kids, you know, not being able to get outside, even though my oldest, he's able to go to school. Financially, because we're able to work from home, you know, that hasn't, you know, God blessed us, and you know, you know, no one was laid off. We were able to keep our jobs and income, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But you know, it's kind of depressing, man. I'm in about 3 or 4 or 5, 6 different group chats of different people to just kind of keep each other sane, man. If it wasn't for those chats, to be honest, I don't know where I would be, you know, because you can go kind of stir crazy sitting in the house looking at the same people,
definitely,
in the same walls every day. So,
you
know, we're coping. We're doing the best that we can. You know, the other part is, you know, we're not able to travel.
Right.
You know, me not being from Massachusetts, I don't have any family here, so you know, it's not, you know, I can't really get out and venture to see, you know, the people that I want to see and need to see.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, you know, you give and you take, man. You put in a situation, you know, sometimes you up 6, sometimes you down 12, so you just got to adjust.
You got to adjust. You got to roll with the punches. You got to adapt.
Right.
Yep. Nah, that's true. That's true. We got Bobby Tingle joining us. What's going on, Bobby? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. You know Bobby?
I don't.
Okay. Well, he's friends of us now. There's a newbie here, so welcome, Bobby. Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Appreciate having you and everybody else on. So now, Boo, the nickname Boo. Now, where did that come from, and who gave you that nickname?
Man, to be honest, I really don't have a good answer for you. I had three different, or two or three different things told to me as growing up. Now, I have an uncle. I have an uncle his real name is Albert, but his nickname is Albu. So he got a story. Every time you talk to him, you might want to walk the other way because he got a story for you. His story is I was named after him.
Okay.
My mother passed away when I was young, 5 years old. So my father said that she gave the name to me, so which I trust. So I'm going to just go with my mother gave me that name. The reasons why, I have no clue.
Gotcha. Hey, are you familiar with Greg Boo Harvey? Used to play with St. John's. Did you ever hear of him before?
Yeah, so he was one of the first people that I seen with the nickname that was on some sort of stage, you know what I mean? Especially basketball, you know, so I was familiar with him. I didn't follow him too much, but I was familiar with the name.
Okay. Yeah, and it's funny with Greg Boo Harvey. I mean, one of his cats, you know, in New York City who did his thing. He went from, you know, Andrew Jackson High School to San Jack to St. John's, and his name and his image still lives on I don't know if you saw the movie Coming to America, but it's the scene in which Eddie Murphy and those guys are at the Garden, they watching St. John's play against Marist.
Yes.
It's Boo Harvey making a layup. You know, his little scoop to the hoop. Yep.
Oh, okay. So you learn something new every day.
And there you go on Transition Tuesdays. There you go. we got Karen joining us. What's going on, Karen? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Oh, Karen is from the DMV as well. So yeah, there you go. Represent.
How do you see who's on tonight? Can I see it?
I mean, it might be on my feed. Are you on your feed right now too?
I'm watching it on my phone, okay. But it's a little delay, but I can't see any.
I got you. I'll keep relaying it. I'll relay it.
Okay.
My man Tariq says, yeah, Boo Harvey was a killer. Absolutely. Boo Harvey was that guy here, man, in New York.
I remember, I remember little things, but, you know, and we'll probably get into that, you know, when the love for basketball started and all of that. So
yes.
I'll save it. I'm just going to answer the questions.
Yes, yeah. yes. So speaking of that, man, when did your love of basketball came about, like, for you?
I mean, the first time playing organized basketball was 4th grade.
Okay.
But you know, I have pictures of me with the Nerf hoop for Christmas. You know, with the big yellow sponge ball that if you got wet,
yep.
You know, you can squeeze the water out of it. That ball. So I got pictures with that. But okay. You know, I always just loved the game. You know, I used to just love watching the game.
Yeah.
So that's when it started. For me playing wise, but the actual love, like, you know, I had told Smooth this story, actually not too long ago, and I think that's part of the reason I'm doing this interview, because I saw you on here, but to be honest, I'm not really on Facebook like that.
Right.
But yeah, so the actual love and actually watching the game, it really came from my next door neighbor. Now, I'm going to throw out a name that you might be familiar with, may not be familiar with, but I mean, literally, this guy lived the very next house, you know, to me. You know, his father and my grandfather were really good friends. God bless both of their souls. But the name is Rodney Monroe.
Oh, wait a second. Rodney Monroe from number 21 from NC State?
Yes, Chris Corchiani, Fire and Ice.
One half of Fire and Ice?
Yeah, that's my my literal next door neighbor. Like, you look out the house and he's looking on the other porch. Like, that's how big he was. Like, I remember Valvano coming and you know, to his house in the living room. I remember him coming in and leaving, and you know, his father saying, "Yeah, this is where he's gonna go." So that's where my love started. So
man, hey, so a couple of things. So everybody watching, like, you know, if you're not, maybe we got some millennials on here, boo. But
yeah,
Rodney Monroe is like, you know, and the reason why they called him Ice, because again, I never saw the guy sweat personally when he was playing. He used to give you buckets after buckets, very similar to, and Boo, you chime in on this, very similar to like Bradley Beal a little bit, like the scoring, you know, but his jumper was just water, man. Yo, I loved him at NC State. Him and Chris Corchiani, man. I think he scored like, what, 2,500 points or something nonsense like that, right?
Yeah, he's the leading scorer. He beat, what's the guy's name that could jump out of the gym for NC State?
David Thompson.
David Thompson. So he broke his record. We actually went down there, so I'll get into that story a little bit later.
Okay.
He actually broke his record. So he's still the all-time leading scorer at NC State.
Wow. Yeah. He was nice, man.
Yeah, he was that deal. Like, you know, especially growing up. You know, it was a small town, so anything popular like that, he was bringing people through there. You know, we played in the Baltimore Catholic League, which is, Trav could tell you, one of the better leagues in the state of Maryland. Some people say it's the best, you know, league as far as sports goes, basketball-wise. So, you know, we were actually the only team in high school that wasn't from the city of Baltimore. So all our games was, you know, when we played those teams was away games. We would have to travel down to Baltimore.
Right.
You know, an hour and 10-minute drive to all of our away games. You know, they weren't close. So, but yeah, he was the man, you know. He did a lot. He did a lot for the city. He brought a lot of notoriety to the city. So there's another guy that I also want to mention.
Who's that?
That people are going to be aware of.
Okay.
Who's also actually from Hagerstown, but he doesn't necessarily claim it he does claim it, and you'll see glimpses of it if you're watching close enough.
Okay.
But his mother lived in Virginia, and that's Dennis Scott.
Oh, Dennis. Okay. I got a cool story about Dennis Scott there, boo. Now, when I was in high school, my team here in New York City, I'm from New York, we played in Hawaii, and we were the first team ever to travel from New York to Hawaii. So we played in a tournament, and who's in the tournament? Dennis Scott. Dennis Scott, 6'8" guy, can shoot it from the locker room, basically. Oh man, so Dennis Scott, so he doesn't claim it? He doesn't claim it?
Well, he claims it. He claims it. It's just that I don't know, man. I can't answer that question. That's for the older generation to truly answer. But he did come back, every now and then. I remember him coming home.
Okay.
One time and coming out to it was really just one big local park. And he came out with us, and it was a whole bunch of my friends. Actually, one of my friends he's related to. So, he came out and shot around with us or whatever. I remember that, like it was yesterday. But, he kind of, his mother was from Virginia, so he was back and forth. You know what I mean? But his father's from Hagerstown. His father was really good friends with my father before he passed away.
Wow.
They used to call him Feets.
Why they call him Feet?
He just had big feet.
Oh, okay, yeah. It makes sense.
That's what they call him, Feet. So, if you go and look at Dennis's page, he actually just put something up lately about his father. But his father passed when he was young.
Oh.
But his father was a cool cat, man. And Dennis, he was always around. But it was always that feud between him and Rodney on who was the man and who wasn't. Dennis kind of. Yeah. He had that height in the game to take it to that next level and keep it going. Rodney played for the Hawks for 1 year, and then and that was at the time when the big guard was the thing, and he was 6'3",
definitely
kind of in between. Handle wasn't that great, but he could shoot.
Yep.
He just was, there was no position that was really fitting for him at the time. But
yeah,
they both legends in my eyes.
Definitely in my eyes too, man. Yeah, we got Michael Daniels said, "What's up, Phil?" He says he's listening.
Yeah, that's smooth. That's my guy from out here. I met him out here.
Nice.
Smooth play ball.
Okay.
Smooth. I used to hear stories about Smooth. I just don't know how true they are.
I'm sure he'll now that he has that invite. I'm sure he's gonna let us know how nice he was, Mr. Smooth.
Yeah. He gonna want to get on Transition Tuesday. You might have to hit him up.
I might have to do my research on him, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, so we got my man Rodney Monroe. You got Dennis Scott, man. And I remember I was talking to Chris. We went to the draft when Dennis Scott got drafted, and I remember we were talking to his dad. Like his dad was like, he was dressed and everything like that, but he kept trying to cry. He said, my son, that's who y'all need to come see, because my son is gonna get drafted. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And that was his father. His father was super proud of him, man. Super proud.
Yeah. And he does a great job. He does a great job at NBA TV now, too.
Yeah, he does. He's doing a good job. I'm glad to see him, face out there, still repping.
Yeah.
But yeah, those two, man, like I remember going to games, like because Rodney was so close and my family was so close. So I also, before I got to, if anybody's listening, if ain't nobody listening, his mother, God bless her soul, she was like the town's mother. She ran a rec center.
Wow.
That everybody went to from ages 6 all the way up until 13, 14. But I mean, everybody. That's where you went after school. You know what I mean? She had a homework program set up. She had a summer league set up. There's actually a young lady that went to Seton Hall. Her name is Ebony. She was actually there when Gonzo was there. She was on the girls' team, obviously. But she took over that league now, and she's still running that summer league. She's actually doing really good things. She did the court over and all of that stuff. But her mother, Rodney's mother, she was like the town mother. Everybody knew her. Everybody praised her. She passed away from cancer some years back. But I just had to throw that in there. She was a great lady.
Yeah. What's her name? Miss Ruth?
Yes, Ruth Ann Monroe.
Yes. Chantel just said that too. Chantel, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, man.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh God, man. Do you still keep in contact with Rodney or Dennis at all? You get a chance to?
The last time I've reached out to Dennis a few times, and it's on deaf ears. I haven't heard back from him. But I know he's busy. He got a lot of comments, a lot of followers, so I don't take that stuff personal.
Yeah.
But Rodney, the last time I spoke to Rodney was another classmate of ours from high school came back to do like a clinic because he's out in Texas. His name is Lee Green.
Okay.
He's doing a lot of basketball. His son is actually pretty nice. I know he's getting some looks. But he threw a clinic back home, and he asked Rodney to come home to help out with the clinic, and he asked me, so I went back. But that was the last time I really spoke to him. You know, I think Rodney's living in North Carolina now, right? I believe.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he's coaching, so I haven't really been keeping up with him as of late.
Okay. Cool. You know what? I would love to see a 30 for 30 doc on Fire and Ice. I think they should call it just that. I mean, what those guys did for NC State. I mean, I know at the time Chris Corciani, he was the all-time assist leader when he graduated at the NCAA.
Yeah, and I actually spoke to Rodney's brother because his brother Kenny Keys. I remember him telling me a while ago. Because I'm really close with his son. Me and his son are really good friends. We the same age growing up.
Okay.
And he was telling me, that year that they played B.J. Armstrong, I can't remember the team.
Iowa
in the tournament, and he lit BJ up. Like he should have left early that year. I think he would have had a better chance in the league.
Yeah.
And I was following and watching the games. I just didn't know the players and the politics at the time because I was so young. I was just watching the game.
Right.
So,
Yep.
But that was. But that's Monday night quarterback. It's what if because they they knew how it turned out. They probably wanted something better for him as far as the NBA.
Definitely.
But I just remember him going crazy in that tournament, 40, 43 as a junior.
Yep.
And his mother, we used to, so just to backtrack a little bit, his mother used to take bus trips down to either Georgia Tech or North Carolina State just to watch the Dennis Rodney game. So we used to take that trip.
Wow.
And I remember some years I didn't make it. I can't remember. I still don't know to this day why I didn't go to all of the games, but I remember the games that I did go to. I still got pictures. And that's when I met Kenny Anderson.
Oh.
And that's when things changed for me.
Oh, okay.
That's when it went all the way left for me. Like that's when it grew. That's when it I need to do something. This is what I want to do.
It went all the way left for you, literally, right? Him being a lefty as well.
Yeah, like those Dennis Scott, Lethal Weapon
3.
Like, I had no idea. Like, I really, because, TV only provided so much.
Yeah.
You didn't see everything that you might have seen in New York and Maryland at the time. So I didn't really have no clue who he was until I knew he was on Dennis's team. So, because remember, you used to go to the game, you used to get the program, you used to see who was who.
Yep.
And that's when Inside Stuff was coming on.
Yes.
And I'm like, who is this Kenny Anderson kid? Like, I went crazy.
Hey, boo, I'll share with you a little story. Now, I'm a senior in high school. Kenny Anderson's a freshman at Malloy High School. So, Kenny, we played him at our gym. And again, our place is it was standing room only. People was even watching the games on the stage because we had a stage right near the court. So you had people lined up on there. And here's Kenny Anderson, again, a freshman. He goes on he wins a state championship. And people don't know about Kenny Anderson's freshman year was he never started a game because Jack Curran, he came from that North Carolina kind of cloth type of deal. We only started, seniors start. Even though you're the best guy in the country as a freshman, he didn't start. So he came in the second quarter of every game. Now, keep in mind, he played after, he played from the second quarter on. But, Kenny Anderson was that dude, man. Another guy, another legend.
Yeah, so that's kind of when it went different for me, man. Like, I literally took that program home and cut every picture of Kenny Anderson out.
Yep.
At Georgia Tech in general, I had the whole team, Malcolm Mackey. I could give you the starting five. That's how much I was in love with that team, just in general. So it was Rodney was kind of pushed to the side now, even though he's my next door neighbor, and that's what I seen every day. Right. I remember going in Rodney's room and seeing all the trophies, and you know what I mean? That's how close. But now this Kenny Anderson, he's left-handed. He's a point guard.
Yep.
He's slim.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what I need to be. So then from there, I'm emulating everything that he does. Even down to the high school. The high school that I went to, St. Maria Goretti, is also the same high school that Rodney went to.
Okay.
Who also have the same colors as Georgia Tech, like that gold, not that bright gold, but that, you know, that rusty gold,
right?
With the navy blue. They got the color, so that's giving me more incentive to want to go to that school.
Man, that is phenomenal. We got my man Michael Sullivan. Michael Sullivan says salute to my man Phil Boulain. All right.
Yeah, my man Mike. Mike is he's a Jasper alum.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. Man, okay, so you had this obsession with Kenny Anderson, man. And again, you know, did you get a chance to see his movie Chibs? You know, he has a documentary out called Chibs.
Look, I had that thing on Amazon Prime first night. I done paid for it and everything. I don't pay for no movies. I paid for that one.
You paid for that one. What'd you think of it? Because I didn't get a chance to see it yet. What'd you think of it?
It was interesting. A lot of the stuff that he said, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Some of the things, you know, as far as the struggles with, you know, alcohol and all of that stuff, you know, you kind of understand it now as you're older, but, you know, a lot of that stuff I didn't know at the time.
Yeah, definitely. We got D. Lee says 301.
Yeah, that's my man D. Lee. He was another. Now D could ball. He was another one. We all grew up together, played ball. D could ball. He was one of them.
Mm-hmm. One of those dudes. Yep. I hear you. Hey, so let's talk a little bit about your high school days, because you talked about high school. So talk to me about high school. You know, playing high school ball. You know, in Maryland. How was it for you? Like, how were your teams? How'd you play?
So let's start off how, like, this high school that I even chose. So there's a story that some know. So I remember there was a guy named his name is Marty Price. Mm-hmm. He used to have this hoop in the back of his yard. Okay. Where it was like 9 feet, I believe. But it was one of them hoops that you could hang on. You couldn't break it. We used to go over there and just play all the time, and that's where we would meet up. Okay. And another good friend of mine, Joe Folks, he was already at the high school. He's a year older than me. He was already at the high school, and Marty was kind of mentoring Joe at the time. Okay. And he was like, look, you need to come to Gregg, because I was already signed up to go to the public school, because I was young. I wanted to be with my friends. I wanted to, I wanted to just do what everybody else was doing for the most part. Mm-hmm. And then that one day, sitting at Marty's house, he was like, nah, listen, this is the school you want to go to. Like, you know, you're going to Koki's the coach. Koki Robinson, who's like one of my favorite coaches of all time, besides Tone Childs. Okay. Those two, they neck and neck. Okay. But he's the foundation for me. So I knew Joe was there. I knew I was gonna have at least one friend at the school. Yep. So, I made that decision. I went home and I just told my grandmother, I'm like, look, I don't want to go to the public school. I mean, this is like 2 days before school started. I had my schedule and everything for the public school. Wow. So I went home and told my grandmother. She made a call, and I don't know the politics behind it and how it was paid for. I don't know anything. Right. I just know that I was signed up to go to school there, because private school started a little later than public school. Right. Correct. Man. So that's how I got there. As far as playing wise, my freshman year, it was almost similar, kind of like the Jack Curran. I knew I wasn't going to get no time on varsity just because of the politics. Right. But I knew I could play with them. I wasn't. I was a good 135 pounds soaking wet, but I knew I could play with them. Okay. Skill wise. Right. So my freshman year, I played a lot of games. I played all of the freshman season, which was like 20-some games. I played every JV. I mostly played JV. And I suited up for varsity games. I got a little bit of burn varsity year, but nothing serious. I didn't play a lot, but at the same time, all of my JV years, my JV stint was, it was solid. I knew who I was playing up against. So, that was kind of like a wash year for me, but it was getting my feet wet, because we practiced against the varsity all year, and we used to eat the varsity up as JVs. Wow. JV team. There you go. They knew, they was just bigger than us, but we was more skilled than them, and we were just ultimately able to compete with the varsity at the time. So that was a wash. So then my sophomore year, is like, all right, now I know I'm gonna start because all the seniors is gone. I know I'm gonna play at least. I'm gonna play. Right. I'm looking around. There's no senior. There's no point guards really here. There's one person that could potentially, but there's really no point guard. So, coach basically told me, like, look, you're gonna be our point guard. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna start. So I'm thinking I'm gonna start. So my next thing is, you won't believe this, but it's the truth. Okay. It's like, I need to figure out how I'm gonna get number 12.
Oh, you had to get okay.
I'm looking for number 12 now. I'm looking for number 12 because Kenny A. You know the jerseys. I'm gonna look just like him. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking.
Right, right.
So that's how obsessed I was with Kenny. So, no number 12, right?
Okay.
All we got is number 12 because for some reason we used to have 3 jerseys. We used to have a white, a gold, and a navy blue, but they never wore the white. They only wore the navy and the blue, and I guess they just didn't want to keep track of the jerseys.
Right, yup.
There was only number 12 in the white. There was no 12 in blue and gold, so the next number was 10. So that's how I got my number.
Okay.
And I just stuck with 10 forever.
Man.
After that.
Man.
I'm glad Brenton Birmingham was gone by the time I got there, because that would have probably been a no-go for me.
Yeah, sweet, yeah. We got Leah joining. What's going on, Angel? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. We also got Richie Diabertis. What's going on, Richie? Welcome.
That was freshman year, sophomore year. So now, sophomore year, I'm starting now. We got a decent team, but we missing a piece.
Oh, one thing, Boo. One thing, really quick. We got Natalie Wills. She has 3 smiley faces with hearts, and she's saying 301.
Yeah, that's Natalie. We all grew up together.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Continue, Mom.
Yeah, so sophomore year, I'm at Goretti. I'm not really seeing my friends as much as I want to. Even though I'm seeing them when I'm at home, but I'm kind of like I'm missing that piece of it because I'm hearing about the stuff that they doing, but I'm not seeing it at school. I'm hearing the stories that's going on at the school, but I'm not really seeing it.
Right.
So that's weighing on me. Basketball wise, I had a great year because I kind of like came out of nowhere. Nobody was really checking for me because I'm this scrawny kid.
Yep.
Until the games and stuff start, and I'm more of an assist guy. Same as Manhattan. Like I got off of seeing somebody else score more than myself score.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoy. Everybody enjoys scoring, but not more than assists for me.
Right, gotcha.
So I'd rather see somebody else. If I could come down and hit somebody with a no look and they score, like I'm feeling like I just got 30.
Right.
That's the feeling I got.
Right.
So sophomore year was cool. In my junior year. Was my best year because we got another piece. We got this kid named Kenny Logan who he was a military kid. And his family just moved into town or whatever, but he could ball. He was just raw. He didn't really know the plays, but he could go out there and get you a bucket.
There you go. You gotta love those people like that. Yep.
Yeah. So now that summer. So the summer before my junior year, which was his senior year, we play at the time Prospect Hall. St. John's at Prospect Hall. They like the #1 team in the nation.
Wow.
They had Nate James.
Remember him?
Nate James, he's the assistant at Duke now. They had a bunch of other players that went on. Tony Christie. They had Rico Hines.
Oh, I remember him. I remember these guys.
Rico Hines was in. They had a crew. So we played them that summer. Because my coach didn't let me play AAU, so the only thing he would let us play was summer ball, which was basically my team that he couldn't coach.
Right.
I didn't even know what AAU ball was.
Right.
He didn't let me play anyway. So I remember playing them that summer and almost beating them. Like we was neck and neck with them. I'm like, we got a team, man. We gonna be decent.
Yeah.
And then first couple of games of the season, I believe one of our big men tore his Achilles.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, tore his. He had a ACL.
ACL tore. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and it just kind of put a damper. We ended up doing okay, but once conference time came around, we just couldn't survive. I think Juan Dixon at the time, his team beat us. I forget the Cardinal Gibbons. Not Cardinal Gibbons. I forget the name is. I forget half of the teams in our league.
I know,
because they switched around so much.
Right.
But yeah, me and Juan used to go at it. And then I'm trying to think who else a notable name that I could throw out at the time. Who was there?
Well, I got a notable name for you there, Boo. How about a guy by the name of is it Darren Bell? You know who that is?
Oh, that's my cousin.
Yeah, he says, I hear you, cuzzo.
yeah, that's my cousin, Darren, yeah.
Cool. And we got Maria joining us, too. What's going on, Maria? Welcome, guys. Welcome to Transition Tuesdays with our special guest, Phil Boulain. Keep going, Phil.
So, I think when I first really started to get any type of looks was the year we played Steve Wojciechowski. He went to Cardinal Gibbons.
Ooh, okay. And then he went to Duke.
And he was like a godsend at the league at the time. Just, he was your traditional, same way you saw him at Duke.
Yep.
What he did in high school. He ran the team, he scored when he needed to, but he wasn't, he was just a solid point guard. Because, at the time, they wasn't looking for point guards to score.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You run the team, you get the ball inside, he was that.
Now, what was he dirty back then? Because he was kind of dirty at Duke. That's just
Super
me.
Dirty.
Okay, that's
Super
what I thought.
dirty.
Okay,
Super
cool.
Dirty.
He coached like that too. Right now, Marquette.
Yeah, he was super dirty, but
I know.
He would get the rep as he loves the game.
He's gritty.
One of us did it. We dirty, but
yeah.
It was that type of deal. But he was a good player though. But I had a great game against him. I think I might have had like 25.
Man.
25, I think. I can't remember the stats, but I had a good game. And then ever since then, I started to get different looks
from
other teams. You know what I mean? They wasn't playing me on defense differently. They was pressing me full court, whereas before I could just walk the ball up the court.
Right, try to wear you out a little bit.
Yeah, and then senior year, we lost a lot of major pieces. It was really just me and a few other guys. But we did all right. That's when I really had to score. I had to.
Yeah.
I really had to come out of my shell and shoot a lot more than I truly wanted to. But I had good games. But the story is how and you may want to lead into this question anyway. Is how I got discovered by Manhattan.
Yes, that's on my list there, boo. But before you answer that though,
okay.
But how was the recruiting process for you? So your senior year, what have you? How was the recruiting process? Like, were you recruited by a number of schools or?
So I was getting local looks. I would get the letter from Maryland. I would get the letter from James Madison. But they wasn't signed by Lefty Giselle and the Maryland coach. They was just your typical, letter to send out to the kids who may be something. I wasn't getting any looks until, believe it was my junior year. My junior year, that summer before my senior year, we had a tournament. It was the summer league that I was telling you about since we didn't play AAU ball, and it was a big man by the name of Terrence Howard.
Okay, not the actor.
No, not Terrence Howard. What is Terrence's last name? I can't remember his last name. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Okay.
But he ended up playing for the Magic. He ended up playing for the Magic for a year, or whatever. But he was getting looks because he was a big man. He went to Thomas Jefferson High School.
Okay.
Damn, I don't know why I can't think of Terrence's name because we played on the same team, but I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, he was getting a bunch of looks, and there was some coaches there that was there to see his game, and he just happened to play the game before me.
Okay.
And this is why I say it's fate because, or God just made it happen for me because for whatever reason, that game or those games prior to, because I think it was a weekend tournament, so it was coaches there both days. But for whatever reason, like I just went off, like scoring wise.
Right, you doing your thing scoring.
Like I had, like literally in that game, like I might have had like 37 and like 40.
Wow.
Like, that game, like, and I never used to have to score 40 points because I always had somebody on my team that could score.
Right.
I just never wanted. I just, I couldn't. To be honest, I couldn't score that much consistently. But for whatever reason, I was having these type of games. And then after that, I started getting letters.
Okay.
And that's when I got the Manhattan letter. That's when I started getting recruited by Rider Heavy. That's when I started getting recruited by American University Heavy.
Okay.
And there was a few other schools that I can't rename, but those were the three.
Now, how does a kid from Maryland, a small town in Maryland, wind up at Manhattan College? I gotta hear the story because I have plenty of people on from Manhattan College. Sometimes I have them on. And they each have a different story. They didn't even hear about Manhattan College, but then they wind up coming. But how was it for Boo? How was it for you, man?
So for me, I never knew who Manhattan College was, but here's the thing.
Okay.
For whatever reason, my town was infested with people from New York City. Now, they might not have been doing the right thing.
Right, but they were there.
There was this big, like, don't even know the word to use, but they were there. Like, they came. I don't know how they got there, but it was just a bunch of people from New York. And I started to become cool with some of them because, you know, New York City is known for basketball. So they was out there maybe doing the wrong things that they weren't, you know, not doing the right things. But, you know, they played ball. So, you know, the town's only but so small. So you had to intertwine with some of them. So I started meeting different people or whatever. And, you know, I never heard of Manhattan College until I started to get recruited. But then once I got recruited, I started speaking to some of these dudes. Oh, yeah, I know about Manhattan College. And you know, I know this person. And I'm naming people from the team. Oh, yeah, he from my block. And I'm like, oh, so I'm like, I don't know what's what. I'm just listening to the story. Because it's so close to me. Now that it's so close that I'm like, all right, so now there's some sort of relation there. Even though I may not know these dudes, you know, they know them, and they you know, it's name affiliated. So so now I signed my letter of intent with Manhattan prior to my whole senior year. So So when I go on to because I wasn't getting a lot of looks. I'm not getting a lot of looks at all. And you know, I'm sitting down, and that's the good thing about my high school coach. He sat down with me and kind of gave me the real, like, look, you're not getting a lot of looks. These are D1 schools. You definitely can play D1. It's the fact that I don't know how much bigger it's going to get, you know, just based on your size. And you know, all of the politics that go along with it. So
how tall were you, boo? How tall are you?
I'm like 5'10". 5'11" on a good day.
I got you.
So and now mind you, you know, I'm super slim, so it's like, but I knew I had the skill to play with these dudes. I had, you know, hidden strength. You know, I wasn't huge, but I knew I was pretty strong, you know, from my size. You know what I mean? I wasn't going over knocking dudes over, but I'm not just letting people take advantage of me. So, so that whole process was kind of like, it was kind of like eerie because I'm getting all of these letters. I got a box full of letters, and I don't know what they mean. You know, my family's not really affiliated with the process, so I don't really know who to ask but my high school coach. So I'm speaking to him about it.
Okay, so he was involved with your process, your recruiting process, your high school coach.
He was involved with the process, definitely. You know, he would bring me into his office afterwards and like, look, this is what it is. And then, you know, just from that whole affiliation that I told you with the guys that was from the town and or the guys that was living in the town, and just their New York City affiliation. Like, I went on those visits, and those were unofficial. I never really went on an official visit because I can't remember the reason why, but I had to go on unofficial visits at the time. And I think it's because I don't know if I didn't have my score, my SAT score. I can't remember because that was another thing. Like, I didn't get my score right away. And I remember like going to those classes to take the classes to have to get the score, and then when I finally got the score, I remember that next day. Tone sending faxing over. I can't remember how they sent it. They sent it FedEx for me to sign that letter.
I remember those days too, because I didn't have the SAT scores at first too, man. I was dreading like that. I was taking the classes like you.
Tough, man. I went to that, what was it, Sylvan Learning Center. Like, my grades were cool, but I just wasn't good with those standardized tests. But I remember going to take that class, and then I got the score that I needed to get, and it was just like a breath of fresh air, like a weight lifted off of me, because I was like afraid, because you know, the backstory to that is another one of my good friends that went to Prospect Hall. I hope I ain't telling his business, but I think, you know, a lot of people know. I don't think he would mind telling. He was on that team that was #1 in the country. The same kid that was at my high school, that with the guy Marty, that ended up transferring and going to St. John's. So he was on that team. He had a scholarship to go to, I believe it was University of Miami, but he just never got his score. And you know, to this day, I always wish, you know, he could have got that, because I think things would have turned out different for him.
Definitely,
you know, everything is good with him now, but but that was the process for me. Like, you know, I went on a non-official visit. I remember playing basketball at the pickup gym prior to me going to the visit to Manhattan and getting hurt. God bless the dead. My man Wellesley, he ended up, I forget, I did some type of spin move or whatever, and he stuck his leg out and hit me like right in the back of the calf. So I went to my visit on crutches.
Oh man, get out of here!
I remember Doc Johnson, you know, taking me down, and Lisa
T
looking at my leg like, nah, ain't nothing broke. You know, you used to just bruise really bad. But you can ask Tariq. Tariq was there. Tariq was showing me around, and then Trav was showing me around too, because you know he had the Maryland affiliation. But I really took. Like, once I went on a visit with Tariq, and then I remember going into the room with Ashimu, and Ashimu was like, yo, can you play? Like, are you going to be able to get me the ball? Like, if you can do that, we will have no... I remember that. Like,
that's what Ashimu was telling you?
Yeah, I remember going, him and Tariq was just laughing, like, and Ashimu was joking, you know.
Right.
I know he was joking, but I remember having that conversation.
Right.
And I hope Jay Who was watching, because I remember going to say what's up to Jay. You know Jay, he be stubborn all the time, walking around mopey.
Yeah, I had Jay on the show the other day too.
Yeah, I remember Jay just like, yeah, what's up? Like, you know, we kind of standoffish. I remember he wanted no parts of it. He probably wanted to just go back on his room with no other visitors. Like, man, I'm not dealing with these dudes. It's y'all weekend.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yup, Tariq is laughing, man. Tariq says, yeah, man. He said, your story's a goodie. He said, take your time with telling it, bro. And then he also said, yeah.
All over the place.
Yeah, and he says you were a buck wet. You know what I mean? we talked about your size.
Yep. Yeah, I was small. You know, and to be honest, so now I signed in this, like, so this was in the summer, I believe. Yeah, it was in the summer.
So you had a good recruit. You had a good time on campus, even though you had crutches.
Look, I had a good time on campus. Rick took me down to Broadway Joe's. I think we got some pizza.
Oh, absolutely. It's still there too, boo. It's still there.
Yeah, he could. I know. I remember asking him just from hearing stuff, like I said, from the dudes that was living around my way. Like, yo, let's go ahead. Nah, we can't. He couldn't take me off campus.
Right.
I was ready to get mixtapes and all that. Like, I was into the music. I wanted all of that stuff. So I was asking Tariq mad questions. And then after that, it was kind of like a blur. Like, I don't really remember. I remember Tone. I remember going into Tone's room, and Tone had the waterbed in there.
Tony Childs.
Yeah, I remember going to Tone had the waterbed.
Oh.
Like, who am I dealing with? He got a waterbed in here?
The coach, huh?
Yeah, so I'm like, what am I getting into? But I remember that. But it was an unofficial visit. I think they did some little stuff.
Right.
And to be honest, I don't never really remember me coming back for an official visit. But I visited Ryder. And Ryder was just the wackest visit ever. Like, I was turned off by them. Like, I remember going and just sitting in a room with, like, one of the players.
Wow, that's it.
Team. And it was like in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, nah, this is not for me. I just got a bad vibe from them. And I think for American U, I think I went there also. I don't even really remember that visit. But I was sold on Manhattan. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like my team, a lot of my team, like a lot of the kids that I play with, you know, all black, you know, we all black neighborhood or whatever. I'm used to playing with that. And then when I went to school, I had a lot of white guys on my team who could play.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really used to that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm used to, I couldn't wait for the summer so I could go to whatever tournament and play with my crew.
Right.
When I saw Manhattan, now I'm like, the whole team, I'm like, this is where I'm going. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm seeing Tariq, I'm seeing Jason, I'm seeing Trav, I'm seeing Kyle Dye, I'm seeing Shimu. You know, this is before Fran is leaving and all that, so this is what I want. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this is where I'm going. I was sold after that visit.
Yeah. So who recruited? Like Coach Fran? Was Coach Fran the coach before you came?
So Fran was the coach. Fran was the coach, and Tone recruited me. So I think Tone seen me at that tournament.
Okay, gotcha.
So then I remember Tone. I remember Coach. Damn, I forget his name because I really wasn't. I didn't play for him, but I know he came. Was it Cousins? No. Coach Cousins? I think it was Coach Cousins.
Yes.
Coach Cousins came back out to Maryland to watch me play again, but it was in the summer, and it was just at that pickup gym that I told you.
Okay.
And I was actually playing against this other kid that was already in college. He went to, I forget what school.
Okay.
My man went to school there. I forget the name of the school, but it was a school in Virginia.
Okay.
It was a D1 school. But he was already there, and he was supposedly nice or whatever, and I was killing him. So Coach Cousins seen that. You know what I mean? So when it was time to show out, I did at the right moment.
Right. Right.
So, that's how it went down. So, and here's the other story. So I'm actually Coach Child's first ever recruit.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Recruit.
We had Tony on the show too, man. Oh, he didn't mention it. Okay, that's good stuff.
I was told, and he actually came out here. When he was coaching. This was a couple of years ago. He came out here and we met up, sat down and ate. Chopped it up. So it was good seeing Tone. Tone will always be near and dear to my heart for whatever's going on.
Good dude, man. One of the best cats, Tony Charles, my man. I've known Tony ever since like Biddy Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yep. All right. So so the Manhattans. Okay. So you sign. You come to Manhattan. Now, when you come to Manhattan, was Franny leaving, or did he leave, or did you play for him for a year? I forget.
Nah, I didn't play for him for a year, but So remember, I signed I knew where I was going my whole senior year.
Right.
So I remember sitting on. I think I told Smooth this story.
Okay.
I think I might have told it better to Smooth, but I'm gonna tell it again.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I remember like laying down on my couch, like waiting for the game to come on when Manhattan's playing Georgia Tech on ESPN.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is Stephon Marbury's freshman year.
I remember that. Yeah, that was.
Mind you, the whole Georgia Tech connection with me.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh, now they playing one of my favorite team, and I'm hearing about Steph, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait. I fall asleep.
You fall asleep?
Wake up right before the game's about to start.
Okay, good, okay.
So I'm watching the game. I'm hype. I'm watching the game. I mean, the whole game. I taped it, everything. I had it on VHS taped it. I'm hype. After the game, I'm like, they played good. They almost won. So that was a good experience. So now all of my friends now know who Manhattan is just based off that game. Like, oh, you going to a nice school, you know what I'm saying? Because before that, don't nobody really know who Manhattan is.
That's right.
Maryland.
Right.
So nobody really knows that. So watch the game. I got a good feeling. And then the next experience, and I ain't gonna get into the details, is I'm watching ESPN. And I see some sort of scandal on campus, and I'm like, oh, what happened?
Right.
So now I'm trying to call Tone. I only got the office number. I'm calling like, what happened?
Right.
They giving me the runaround. They not telling me the story. Even though I found out the story later. So that happened. So I'm like, damn. So now I'm seeing a couple of kids get kicked off the team. So I'm like, what's gonna happen? So now that whole season passes by. That's a blur. They make it to the NIT.
Yeah.
Still good teams. I'm following all the games, and then now it's my turn to come. I'm hearing Fran's leaving. Tone calls me. I'm like, oh man, what does this mean?
Right.
He's like, nah, really, he's leaving. I'm staying. So we don't really know who the coach is or whatever, but it's all the players are still here. So if that's what you was really attracted to, should still come. Even though I already signed my letter of intent, I don't know how much leverage I really had, and I was just like, I was sold on going to Manhattan regardless. I didn't care who the coach was at that point.
Right.
It kind of messed me up because, I was sold one thing in the system and how we play, and, speaking to some of the players on the visit, I don't know if that's going to change. So I'm like, I'm still coming. I really don't have a choice at this point. So,
gotcha.
So that was it, and then, off comes my Manhattan career.
Yeah.
Freshman year, I was not ready. I'm gonna let you know that now.
Like most freshmen are. Yeah, I got you on that.
Listen, that first workout, that 6 a.m. workout, and then got to go to class. I remember sitting in the class and don't know what's going on. My head is spinning. I'm like, what is this? Because in high school, New York ball was different from Maryland ball. Like they was used to the workouts every day. Like I worked out what I wanted to. Like when my coach had practice, like,
right?
We didn't really, it wasn't no trainers. It wasn't nobody really out there to really work us out. We just played pickup all the time. That's what we did. That was my workout.
Right.
So I wasn't ready for that, for the weightlifting and then the structure. I can't even say the structure because my high school was pretty structured. It was a structured environment, but I just wasn't ready for it, man. It was too much, especially body-wise. Like my body wasn't ready for it. I was not ready physically.
Yeah, man. I know, man. That is so true, man. Chris says also. He says, well, when we had the conversation before, Chris says, once you get on campus, it's a wrap.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
I wasn't ready.
And then Tariq says, Boo slept most of the days once he got back to the room. I thought he was sick.
Yeah, I was in the room, man. that first week, man, I remember because it was another guy there with us. His name was Travis Blackwell. He ended up leaving after before the season even started. Me and him was like running mates. So he was saying the same thing, like, man, I don't know how much more we could take of this, man. We just get knocked over. They running through us. We got practice for 3 hours. This is too much.
Yeah.
I was like, man, listen, we're gonna get through it. But as time went on, it got a little easier. But even throughout that whole season, man, I just physically was not ready.
Yeah. And that happens a lot for freshmen coming in, because again, it's a tough transition, making that transition from high school to college. The speed of the game, the strength, the physicality of the game. And
now mind you, I wasn't like eased into the process.
Right.
Tariq was hurt. Tariq's wrist is broke.
Right. Yeah.
There's no other point guard but me and maybe Steve, but Steve's not a point guard.
Right.
So I'm in the game because I could get the ball up the court, but I was just trying to do too much. I can't remember. I can't remember what game we played. I don't know. I can't remember. I just remember Coach come back to like, I see you trying. You're playing hard, but don't shoot again.
Oh, boy. What coach told you that?
Make a shot. It was Coach Leonard. Like, I remember that vividly in one of the huddles. I can't remember. It was a away game. I can't remember who that was against.
Right.
But I just remember him saying that. And I just remember I was like 1 for 13 or something crazy. Like, I was out there just trying to win.
Right.
But doing everything wrong.
Man, wow. Okay. So you played under Coach Leonard. So funny story about Coach Leonard. A couple things. Coach Leonard, a lot of people don't know, Coach Leonard was drafted in the NBA. It was like
he reminded us.
Oh, he did. Okay, but again, now he has to slow his roll a little because it was like 9 or 10 rounds back then. You know what I mean? So a little bit different. But no, he coached myself and Chris and everything. He was assistant coach with Steve Lapis. So he comes back. Okay, so hold on one second. We got Matt Rowe joining. You remember Matt Rowe from Syracuse?
Yes.
Yes, he is joining us. What's going on, Matt? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays, my friend. Man. And so that was a deal with Coach Leonard. So Tariq says mid-season you came through and adjusted well. So he talked about mid-season. So you did your thing mid-season.
Yes. Yeah. So Tariq's wrist is broke. He's trying to tell me what to do in the huddles. My head's spinning. I'm like, man, y'all need everybody just be quiet. Like, there's too much going on. But I can say that. Coach Leonard during that time was patient with me, and at the same time, he didn't have any other option because again, there was no other point guard.
No other point guard, right? You was the guy, yes.
Yeah, and not I can say to his fault or just maybe the way he was taught.
Yeah.
The system was just slower, man. I could see it in Jay's face. I could see it in Tariq's face.
Yeah.
I remember Tariq just sitting down in practice like, no, I'm not practicing. I'm done.
Yeah.
That's why they called him the Rebel.
Yeah. Who was that, Tariq?
Yeah, that's Tariq. They called him the Rebel. He just sat down like, yo, I'm done. I'm not practicing.
They called Tariq the Rebel? Wow.
Yeah,
Triple T was the Rebel?
Look, don't let Tariq lie to you.
He didn't share that story when he was on the show. All right, he was the Rebel. Didn't know that. Man, oh man. Yeah, with Coach Leonard, I mean, he comes from that same vein of like Steve Lapis, who was there. Like, when we played, we were very methodical when we played. It was very structured. I mean, we running plays till the clock gets to 17. We doing that. We didn't fast break a lot. So he's coming from that stable. So I can definitely see it being an issue. When you guys looking at run and gun, you coming from the tournament before, just coming off the tournament, and everything like that. You guys are running up and down and everything. So yeah, it must have been a tough adjustment for him to coach that.
Yeah, so it was, pass 5 times. You got to go right, left when you shoot. You got to go left, right when you're shooting. When you're going to the left, and if you're going to the right, you got to go right, left with your feet. Like it was that methodical when
Yeah.
And he would literally say, "You missed. You know why you missed that shot? Because you didn't right left, or you didn't left right." And I'm like, "Is this true?" I didn't know what to believe.
Man.
So now it's mental, and then
you're
not really enjoying the game. Like,
right.
Even though like I was telling Tariq earlier, like my freshman year and my senior year is the most memorable. I don't really remember my sophomore and junior year. I really don't. I don't remember the game. I remember stuff outside of the games, and I remember stuff that happened in practice.
Right.
If somebody reminds me.
Right.
But I don't really remember the season.
Man, that's amazing. So let's talk about your senior year, man, because that's very important about your story, man. You led the MAC conference in assists, and you were 16th in the nation in assists your senior year. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't know my man Darrell Brown, who I'm pretty sure you're aware of. He's the one who told me. Like I didn't really follow it at that point. Like it's my senior year, we got a new coach. Gonzo comes in.
Right,
and,
that's right. Okay.
You know, Gonzo comes in and he changes everything. You know, it's more up tempo. I love, as far as person wise. Like I'm not gonna talk bad about nobody, but. Yeah. Person-wise, him and Coach Leonard was a better person to me off the court. But on the court, I'd rather play for Gonzo.
Yeah.
But, you know, Gonzo's system was more my alley. All right, let's get the ball out, let's run. And once we did that, you know, everything went up for me. Assists went up.
Yeah.
Points went up.
Yep.
You know, I'm averaging like 11 points a game or something like that. Now, mind you, we got, you know, I'm a senior at this point, so I'm kind of like the go-to guy like Tariq was when my freshman year, but it was a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? We got the ball up the court, shoot the ball, you know what I mean? He would tell you, like, if you're open, shoot. He would never say not shoot.
Right.
But it was just so much going on at that time, man. Like, it's my senior year.
Yep.
Like, the stuff that dude used to say to us, it was just like, I just really didn't I just didn't enjoy playing anymore at that point, man.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
I've heard a lot of people, talk about that with Gonzo. Yeah.
Like, I really didn't enjoy playing. Like, there was, you know, when we would win, like, he would have some enjoyment, but the overall love for the game, like, it wasn't what it was back when I first seen Kenny Anderson, like,
right,
you know, it was just different. And I get it, you know, them guys is playing for their life. It's a business to them, but you know,
I got you.
I wouldn't, to be honest, I wouldn't change any of it though, because you know, I met Tariq. Like I still speak to Rick. I still speak to Jay. I still speak to Trav. You know, I still speak to Darrell. So those relationships can't be replaced.
That's true. That's true. We got Devin Carney says, Hagerstown, Maryland, stand up for Boo, cuzzo. One love, kid. You know Devin, right?
Devin, what's the last name?
Carey.
Oh yeah, that's my man Devin.
Yes.
Now his brother was somebody I grew up with. Went to George Mason. That was the school I was taken with. He went to George Mason.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha. And we got Junior Spruce joining us. What's going on? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Cool. Who else we got? You got anybody else? Yeah. Oh, so speaking of that, so what you just talked about, Boo. So if you had to do a do-over in your basketball career, it could be, high school, college, what have you, would you have done anything differently?
The only thing I would have done differently is I wouldn't have took so much to the mental part of listening to what these coaches are saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, some of this stuff is borderline abuse, man, if you really look at it. Especially in today's time.
Yeah, I know, right?
If some of that stuff would have been said on tape or somebody would have recorded that and put it out, like that, it was borderline abuse.
Yeah, yep. That's true, man. Back then in that era, no doubt about that, man. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so truthfully speaking, but that, it was a different time, man. So, coaches said a lot. They did it for motivation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, some of that stuff did make you tougher. You ain't want to hear that, so you would go out and you would play harder. Like I would.
Ooh. You there, Boo?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
sorry.
That's okay. You gonna say Yep.
So like I really that sophomore, junior year, blur, freshman year, I enjoyed because I was meeting different, just the personalities. You know what I'm saying? Steve McDowell, hilarious.
Yeah. Yep.
Hilarious. One of the funniest people I ever met in my life. But Steve was funny. And then my junior year, I take that back because my junior year we had a little run.
Okay.
In the tournament when we played Siena and ended up losing by, I believe, 1 or 2 points in that final game to go to the MAC championship. And they called a bogus foul on us.
Yeah.
And Scott Knapp hit a 3 from Africa.
It's funny how you remember those little ticky-tack things, right?
Yeah, so, other than that, the junior year was a wash, and then my senior year, with a new coach, I kind of remember that change. Mm-hmm. But, if I could do anything different, it would have just been the mental part, man. Like, I would have just went and played. I wouldn't have let nobody really get in my ear. Like, I'm going to go do what I know I can do.
Yeah,
and
definitely,
and leave it at that.
Definitely. Do you know how many final assists that you had for a career? You remember the number?
I've tried to look. I don't know the number offhand. I believe the single season. I believe is. I want to say it's 136 or something like that, or 47. I can't remember the number for that record, but I don't know how many I ended up with career-wise.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Because people usually remember, they remember their stats. Like, for me, because I scored 1,140 points, I remember that, that type of stuff.
Right.
You remember things like that. Like, for me, I just came across a stat that, for myself personally, I'll just toot my horn a little bit, okay? A little bit for you.
Oh, no, you got to. You got to. If you know it, you supposed. Some people say, I don't know, I just never was into that. Like, I heard about it and it was like, cool.
Right. Nah, I got you. Like,
once I was done playing that game, I don't think I picked up a ball for the next, 3 years.
Whoa. Wow.
Like, that's how done I was with it. Like, I was just like, I'm done. Like, it was nothing else to play for. You know what I mean? Because high school, you was playing to go to college.
Right.
First, before you get to high school, you're just playing for the love. You knew you had to go to high school. Because you had to go. And it's like, all right, I'm going to play ball. And then you love the game. So I know I'm going to play high. All right, now I want to go to college. Mm-hmm. Trying to get a scholarship. Mm-hmm. Got a scholarship.
Yep.
Now scholarship is over. There's a couple of offers to go overseas, but I just didn't trust it.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to play anymore. I'm like, you know what? I'm done, man. I'm gonna go. Man. I'm gonna go live a regular life.
Yeah. Hey, Boo, talk to us a little about that transition, man. So, you said you went from, college to not, even playing at all for, 3 years, right? Talk to me a little about that transition.
So, for me, it really wasn't that bad because now I'm doing all of the things that I would do on the day off of practice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. I remember going, the first time I went to the Bronx was with Tariq. The first time I ever been to Harlem was with Steve. So now I'm still living in New York because, I remember George Kuzma, he let me stay on campus that whole summer after I graduated.
Wow.
I had to look for a job. So I'm still staying in the dorm. Put my resume out there, and it just so happened to be that the girls' coach at the time, she was the assistant coach. She had left Manhattan, but I still kept in contact with her, and they was looking for a position at this Boys and Girls Club in the Bronx, and I just wanted to stay in New York. I did not want to go back to Maryland.
Right, gotcha.
I was having too much fun. I was meeting new people. I did not want to go back. So I ended up working at that Boys and Girls Club for 3 years.
Wow. How was that? How was that experience?
That was cool. That was cool because it was I was in the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So believe it or not, I was coaching. So at the time, I was coaching the little team they had over there, and we would travel to different boroughs and play different teams or whatever. And I was actually the kid that was on my team, French Montana, was on my team.
Get out of here, French Montana, the rapper French Montana.
Yeah, the rapper French Montana. He was actually on my team. We used to travel to games or whatever. His name is Kareem.
Oh, now could he play or was he rapping all his points? What was he doing, man?
French was. He was rapping. He would come in with his little tapes or whatever. But I don't know what French was doing outside of there. But French could hoop.
Really?
French could throw it, to bounce, and then catch it, and then put it between his legs and dunk it backwards. He was
that guy.
Nice. Yeah, French was nice.
Really? Wow.
He could hoop, but he just ain't want no contact. He was afraid of that contact.
Right, yeah. He pretty boy, pretty boy.
Shoot jumpers. He had a finesse game, but he could play though.
Wow, man, that's amazing. Man, French Montana threw his legs for the slam.
Right.
Man, but we got Chantel says, she says Park Place 301, North and Jonathan forever.
Yeah, that's my Park Place is my street. North and Jonathan is the street where the rec center was, and You know what I'm saying? It's a small town, so it was really like a 6 or 7 block radius.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. So you had that transition from playing to not playing, but you were coaching, which is a good thing there, man. So let's fast forward to like kind of now. So you have 2 kids, right?
Yep.
And I heard one of your kids play ball, right? Your son plays ball, right?
Yeah, well, you know, he was playing ball pre-COVID. So once COVID hit, we kind of shut everything down. So yeah, he was hooping. I was actually coaching that team. You know, 3rd grade team.
Gotcha.
So you know, he did all right.
Okay, cool. Now, go ahead, boo. You saying?
Nah, I was waiting for you to respond.
Okay, no, okay, cool. Now, what basketball advice would you give your son? Do you give him any advice?
So my main thing with both of my kids is find what you want to do. Find what you love to do. I don't want to force you. I told him, I said, you know, my oldest, he's 10 now. I tell him, I'm like, you know, with COVID, it's a little different, so I can't really make you do too much. But you're not just gonna come home and you know, play your game. He does really well in school. I don't have to worry about the school part.
That's great. That's great.
Because you know he's focused on that. He does really well in school. It's just that I'm telling him that, you know, basketball wise, it's sports related. You're gonna meet. This is gonna build character.
Yeah.
This is gonna build discipline. And you're gonna meet a whole bunch of people where you're gonna naturally form friendships that's gonna lead to other things. So I said you're not just gonna sit in the house. You don't have to play basketball, but you're gonna have to do something where you're gonna be outside of this house meeting people and developing relationships. So
definitely, yeah.
And now these kids, you give them a phone, they'll sit there all day. You give them an Xbox, and my kids are like night and day. My oldest is like the nerd. He's the school booksy kid, but he likes to play basketball. And my youngest, he's only 4. He's about to be 4 in a few weeks.
Okay, wow.
So he's the one that I think I'm gonna have to really really throw out there and see what he really made of.
Right.
He got the personality. He got all of that. He wants to emulate everything. He's watching TV. He's doing moves. He's running around with the ball. So that's the one sports related that might be something special if it does develop. So
yeah, gotcha. We got my man Rafael Colon joining us, man. I went to Powell Memorial, my guy. What's going on, Rafael? And we got Greg Vance joining us too as well. Hold 1 second. I hit a button here. My mistake. Oh shit. Hold on 1 second, guys. Oh. Here's what happens when you go live, boo. Hold on 1 second.
Nah. I know.
There we go.
Right, I'm trying to turn off the...
Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, because I hit a button on my phone. Oh, man.
That's cool.
Oh, cool. Okay, so you got kids that play. That's a good thing. You don't force it on them. You give them good advice, which is a good thing, too. That's very good, you know.
Yeah, man, to be honest, you know, I think we need more... We have black people in general. There's enough athletes out here, man.
Yeah.
We need the other stuff. So
yeah, we need nerds. We need those nerds.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just pushing. You know, be a good person. Figure out what you love to do, and I'll back you with whatever that is.
Definitely. Hey, I'm gonna leave you with this last question, Boo, man, because I love having you on, man. I know we could talk for days and hours, but. Here's the deal. Like, let's say if you were able to fast forward to your time, let's say if you were at Manhattan College now, in the midst of this pandemic, do you think you've been able to last for the whole year during this pandemic?
As a student, as a player?
As a student, as a player, could you think because they have like these little silos, these little bubbles. So Manhattan College, the players now are in like this quote unquote bubble that they can only come out when it's time to play and everything. Do you think you could have been able to last during that time? During this time?
I think so, man, because it's like anything else. It's almost like it's really almost like being at Manhattan doing intercession. There's really no one there.
That's a good point.
Team.
Yep.
So I think we would have been able to adjust because at the end of the day, you really think about it. you really had just the basketball team. Like,
yep.
for the most part of the year, you mingle with other people in between classes, but for the most part, you hung out with people from the team. So,
yep, that's true.
I mean, so as long as they have each other, you know, I think they could have got through it, because it was really just practice,
yeah.
practice, yep. School, and really there was no social life until after 8 o'clock.
Right.
Know? And then by that time you want to go to sleep, because, you know, practice in school is 8 o'clock the next morning.
Yep. Yep, but you know the difference now is with this pandemic, there is no social life. So it's like, yeah. You know what I mean? So I had a conversation with a couple of my teammates that you know, we're trying to put ourselves in a situation. You know, how will we be able to manage during this pandemic? You know, because you know these kids are young. They're young kids, and they wanna see their girl, you know, some girls or what have you. And I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I don't know if I would have been able to do it. I probably would have. Here's what I would have did, boo. I will not name my teammate, but I would have went on the strength of what my teammate was doing. I think this teammate would have probably found the loophole to get through stuff and, you know, and handle things. So I would have relied heavily on this teammate. I would love to name him, but I can't name this teammate. But I would have relied how he was moving. I think I would have been moving, and I would have been okay. What about yourself, man?
Waiting to happen, man, because it's like having lions in the den and with the gate halfway open.
Yes.
And telling them to stay in. So
absolutely,
people would have made things happen. I mean, you would have had to make the best of it, whether you liked it or not. You would have made the best of it.
Yeah, yep, you would make the best of it, man. You absolutely would, man. Man, my man, Boo, man, I enjoyed having you on, man. To have you, you know, people hear your story, man, because, you know, I haven't talked to you in a while because, you know, we had the alumni games and, you know, that was you know what I mean, stuff like that. But, man, it is so great. It's a pleasure talking to you, Boo, man. Again, getting your story. I mean, I learned a lot today, man. Rodney Monroe was your neighbor. You coaching, you know, French Montana. Man, this guy's dunking. I would never vision that with French Montana, which is crazy. So, man, I love hearing your story here today, man.
No, I appreciate you having me on. And we could thank Smooth for this, because I think a lot of this I went into Smooth with one night, and I don't even know how I got there. But Smooth, you know, he's the assist man. He's gonna put you in the right position. So that's exactly what he did.
That's true, man. That's true. Your guy, before you go, Devin says, Boo, love you, cuz. He says, hopefully we can cross paths whenever you come back to town. He says, one love, bro. And then you got Chantel says, Boo, my daughter rocks number 10 in track at Rutgers. But you know the town loves you.
Yeah, that's all people I grew up with, man. Devin lived right down there. Everybody, like I said, everybody was so close, man. Everybody knew everybody, so they all family.
Mm-hmm. Man, that is good stuff, man. That is great stuff. Boo, man, I gotta have you on again, man. I know you got more stories on deck, man, but I gotta have you again. But I'm glad I had you today, man. I appreciate you coming on Transition Tuesdays today, my friend.
Nah, I appreciate it, Russ. Thank you for having me.
No problem. One love, man. I'll be in touch.
One love.
All right.
Later.
One. All right, my man, Phil Boulain on the check-in, man. Great stories, man. Coaching French Montana. Who'd have knew this guy, French Montana, banging it home through the legs, dunking? Wow, I learned a lot. Rodney Monroe, too. Dennis Scott. Oh, man, good stuff. Okay, my man Lawrence joining us. What's going on, Lawrence? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays, my friend. Welcome. Man, good stuff. Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, let's transition a little bit because that's what we do here. We transition. Had a couple of stories, but want to go over a couple of things. Oh, my man says, Devin says respect, and Chantel says facts. Appreciate you guys coming on board, representing for your boy. I appreciate you guys coming on, man. So before we head on out, I want to talk about this day in Black history. Okay, and always remember, Black history is ours, everybody's history. Okay, so keep that in mind. February and beyond. Okay, but in this day, February 16th, 1874. Frederick Douglass was elected president of Freedmen's Savings and Trust Company. Now, if you're not sure what that company was, Freedmen's Saving and Trust Company was established as a secure banking institution where black soldiers could save their money and also encourage the African American community to save. So that took place on this day, February 16, 1874. And also you had on February 16th, 1957, not too long ago, actor LeVar Burton was born. Now, Mr. Burton, he's known for his role as Kunta Kinte. All right, not Toby. Kunta Kinte in the miniseries Roots, okay? And Mr. Burton will go on to win 12 Emmy Awards as the host and executive producer of Reading Rainbow, which ran for 23 seasons. So that is our day in Black history. Okay, and always remember, Black history is everybody's history. And we should celebrate every day, not just in the February month. Man, we got our guy Jason Benton, one of Manhattan College's at Jasper's finest joining. What's going on, Lefty? What's going on, brother? Wow, Chantel says, wow, yes. And Kendra says, yes, Reading Rainbow. Yeah, a lot of people grew up on Reading Rainbow, LeVar Burton. And another fun fact about LeVar Burton was, I know when Alex Trebek passed away, I know people wrote in as a petition, they wanted to have LeVar Burton host the show. So hopefully that's still in effect. You know, he has that cachet in front of the camera. I think he could pull that off, man. We should probably get Kunta Kinte, man, to host Jeopardy, you know, for the great Alex Trebek. That'd be cool, man. Yep, Jason says, much love, my guy. Oh, man, no problem, no problem. Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, if we were able to make you laugh, smile, and think during this broadcast, my good friends, you have accomplished something major today. So celebrate your victory. Celebrate your victory as I am going to play some of my theme music. If I can find my song. Hold on one second, guys. I got my new computer here, so let's try to find where's my song. Where's my song? There you go. Hold on one second. Hang there with me. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, yes. This is my theme music. I love this song. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Transition Tuesdays each and every Tuesday here. I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. If you missed our show, this show, or other shows, past shows, I have a YouTube channel called Transition Tuesdays. And you can catch the shows there, and I post the shows there as well. If you're not following me, please follow me on Instagram or IG, as the young people say. I'm at R Will Transitions. That's spelled RWILLTRANSITIONS. R Will Transitions. Follow me there. Appreciate it. Okay. And again, one love and thank you so much to my special guest, Phil Boo Lane, one of Jasper's finest, joining us with the great stories. I learned a lot today, and hopefully you learned a lot today too as well. So thank you again, Boo. Appreciate having you on, my friend. As we say in parting, happy transitioning. We'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. One love.